This is the Invincible AI Growth Engine. Yes, that is its actual name. No, it is not modest about what it's trying to do. It's a 12-step business growth framework that helps businesses find the right opportunities, make better decisions, and generate implementation-ready marketing assets without starting from scratch every single time. Over 14,000 individual execution tests went into building the first working version. Here's how it works. We'll show you instead of describing it for another 5 minutes. This is the dashboard. The platform runs on a 12-step business growth framework. The first 3 steps build the foundation. The system carries your business context from one step to the next. Every output is shaped by everything that came before it. Step 1 is Avatar Group. This is where the platform figures out who the customer actually is, not just the demographic checkbox version, the real version, motivations, problems, goals, what gets them to buy, and what makes them walk away. Most businesses skip this part, or they do it once, file it somewhere, and never look at it again. This system does not let that happen. And if you do not yet know who your avatar group is, that is okay. The system is smart enough to help you figure that out. Click the AI Assist mode and tell it you do not know and want help figuring that out. This doesn't get filed away and forgotten. It becomes part of the business intelligence the system carries through every step that follows. Step 2 is Avatar Diary. This goes deeper than describing the customer from the outside. The goal is to understand how they actually think, what frustrates them, what they want, what they're afraid of, the words they use when they talk about the problem you solve. This matters more than most people realize, because if your marketing doesn't sound like the customer's own thoughts coming back to them, it doesn't land. Later in the framework, when the system generates marketing recommendations and assets, this psychology shows up in what gets produced. The messaging isn't invented out of nowhere. It's drawn from what the customer actually thinks and feels. Step 3 is brand training. This captures what the business itself brings to the table: positioning, strengths, constraints, differentiators, voice and tone, strategic direction. In other words, what makes this business different from every other business that does the same thing, and how it talks about itself. Together, those 3 steps create the business intelligence layer that powers everything else. Every recommendation, every strategy, every asset the system generates from here, built on this foundation. Not on guesswork, not on generic AI prompts, on documented specific knowledge of the business and the people it serves. Here's the full picture. Business intelligence feeds growth drivers. Growth drivers identify growth opportunities. Growth opportunities drive AI-generated assets, and the assets drive business growth. Everything starts with understanding the business and the buyer. Everything downstream is shaped by that. There's no shortcut that skips to the end without doing the work at the beginning. The system won't let you. From the foundation, the platform moves through the major drivers of business growth: average transaction value, how often customers buy, lead conversion, lead generation profit expansion, referral generation, referral conversion, customer lifetime value, and exit readiness. Each one is a lever. Pull any single lever and you get a result. But pulling them in the right sequence, that's where something different happens. Each improvement sets up the next one. Better conversion makes lead generation more valuable. More referrals amplify whatever lifetime value improvements are already in place. The improvements don't sit in isolation, they stack on each other. That's why the order isn't arbitrary, it's the mechanism. It's what turns a series of separate improvements into something that compounds, and compounding is what eventually shows up in revenue in a way that feels disproportionate to the effort. Here's what actual platform output looks like. Not a demo, not a sample PDF dressed up to look impressive, not a generic template with your logo dropped in where it says, "Insert logo here." This is what the system generates, and as you can see, it is not producing one-paragraph AI responses. These aren't generic recommendations that could apply to any business on Earth. They're built on the foundation established in the first 3 steps: the customer profile, the buyer psychology from Avatar Diary, the company's voice, constraints, and positioning from brand training. All of it shows up in what gets produced. That's the difference between output that fits your business and output that fits everyone's business, which means it fits no business particularly well. That context travels through the entire process. Here's a different step, a different output. Same principle: identify the opportunity, build the asset around it, shaped by everything the system already knows about the business. As you move through the framework, the system can generate growth recommendations, marketing strategies, campaign concepts, promotional ideas, referral systems, retention programs, expansion opportunities, and implementation guidance, which is a lot. That's the point. Most AI tools work like this. You ask a question, you get an answer, you ask another question, you get another answer. Every session starts from zero, nothing carries forward. After a while, you realize you've generated a lot of content and moved the business approximately nowhere. This platform works differently. The context built in earlier steps shapes every output in every step that follows. Decisions accumulate instead of evaporating. The marketing it produces is built around your specific business, not a blank slate that's never heard of you before. On top of that foundation, the system adds another layer of customization: 15 voice and tone options, 19 marketing channels, 26 copywriting frameworks, 6 AI assistance modes. Multiply those together, and you get 44,460 possible output combinations per tactic. Go ahead and read that again. We'll wait. And that's where the math becomes genuinely difficult to think about, because this isn't one tactic. The system evaluates growth opportunities across 8 growth strategy areas. When you multiply 44,000 possible combinations across the thousands of tactics that could be recommended for each growth area, the total number of possible outputs is larger than any team could produce, manage, or replicate. That said, the goal is not to produce a staggering volume of content. The goal is to find the right opportunity for the right business at the right step and generate something that's actually built around that. Not more output, smarter output, better decisions, and a business that moves forward as a result. The system is not filling in templates. It's generating recommendations and assets based on the business, the buyer, the company context, the growth tactic, the selected channel, the selected copy structure, the selected voice and tone, and the selected AI mode simultaneously. Every output is the product of all of those inputs at once. Change any one of them and you get something different. Change several and you get something very different. That's what AI actually changes here. Not the speed of writing, plenty of tools do that. The ability to deliver this level of specificity across this many variables for any for-profit business at any step on demand. A team of consultants couldn't produce this by hand at any price that made sense for most businesses, but a monthly subscription can. The platform is built for 2 types of users. The SMB plan is for independent business owners who want to identify growth opportunities and generate assets for their own company. The agency plan is for consultants, agencies, coaches, and marketing professionals managing strategy across multiple clients. 2 different situations, 1 framework, same results. Agency accounts can currently manage up to 500 client companies from a single account during the alpha rollout. Each company keeps its own business intelligence, its own recommendations, its own generated assets, separate context, separate strategy, separate deliverables for every client without the context of one bleeding into another. Think about what that means in practice. Every improvement you make this month strengthens the next decision you make. Every lever you improve makes the next lever more valuable. The business doesn't just get a little better, it starts generating more revenue, more profit, more long-term value. That's what the Invincible AI Growth Engine was built for, not to produce more marketing, to help you build a business that makes more money, deliberately, systematically, in the right order. If you're ready to stop leaving revenue on the table and start building something that actually compounds in your favor, the platform is ready for you. Subscribe now, put it to work.